Today we're gonna do a review of the Tomtoc Aviator-T37 crossbody bag. In this video, I'm gonna break down this bag based on my experience of reviewing 500 of the world's best backpacks and slings and every bag you can imagine. We're gonna talk about the honest pros and the cons, we're gonna pack it out, and if you're not quite sold if this is the vertical sling of your dreams, you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video where I'll make some alternative bag suggestions that might be a bit more up your alley. But first, let's talk about the gist of the Tomtoc Aviator-T37 travel crossbody bag. That's a mouthful, and honestly, while I've never been a big fan of Tomtoc's naming conventions, I'm a big fan of Tomtoc overall. And if you don't know, Tomtoc is a Chinese brand, and they came kind of onto the scene and into our carry community with guns blazing, as they're bringing really high quality bags to the table, but they're coming in at really affordable price points. Let's talk about some of the top features of the T37. It is a vertical sling, which is basically like a crossbody in a lot of ways, with a lot of organization, including a front zipper pocket here, a top zipper pocket, the main compartment with a bunch of additional pockets, and a back sleeve right here. You've also got a top handle at the northernmost point of the bag, and a comfortable harness system, which gives you the ability to actually unclip, therefore transforming a vertical sling into a tech pouch. As of recording, the Aviator T37 comes in 2 color options. For the dimensions, it's just a little guy. We got around 7.5 inches height and around 7 inches width. Now, it's advertised at 1.3 liters, which I think is gonna be pretty spot on. So you can see right here, packed it out to the brim without overpacking it, because we wanna get an honest assessment of the capacity. And you can see right here where that black dot is, that's 1 liter capacity. We're just a little bit over that, which means I think the 1.3 liters is a perfect assessment of the capacity of the bag. This is the Aviator T37 when it's empty. And this is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation squad. For reference, I'm 5'8", and our media manager, Margaret, is 5'2". And we're gonna fully pack out this sling throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Tomtoc products are backed by their 2-year warranty, but you do need to register the bag for that warranty. And for all that, this bag runs around $45 US. And if at any point during this review you're thinking to yourself, 45 bucks? It's a steal. And you're gonna pick one up. We highly suggest doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the outside of the Tomtoc Aviator T37. Now, the first thing to note on the outside is just the overall shape, design, vibe, and aesthetic. And you gotta understand that vertical slings are having a moment right now, as to where the horizontal sling game, as you can see here and here, was sort of dominating the culture. But now that old school kind of crossbody vertical form is coming back front and center, and it's kind of growing on me, to be honest, as well. Like, I've always been a horizontal sling guy, but as I was using this, it's actually one of my favorite vertical slings in some ways. It's kind of converting me to the vertical side, but there's some things I don't like about it as well. We'll talk about all my nitpicks throughout the review. But in essence, vertical slings are cool because they're kind of meant to fit your phone with that whole vertical form. And they're less of a burden just on your torso as they're typically worn in crossbody mode. And we'll talk more about the comfort of this sling in just a second. Now we're gonna talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets in the next section. Let's quickly talk about this primary fabric, because one thing to keep in mind with Tomtoc is, like, it's not the most expensive or the least expensive. They kind of got that middle zone, that lower middle zone, which means these fabrics are nice and they get the job done, but they're not like super luxurious. It's just like a basic ripstop. Ripstop nylon is fantastic because it's gonna be very abrasion resistant, and that ripstop is literally like the reinforced stitching throughout the fabric. So if there's a rip, it will stop, hence ripstop. As Tab would say, logic. Tomtoc's branding has improved so much over the years. Love this little discreet metal T logo. And when it comes to the comfort, you gotta keep in mind, like, this guy is small, you know? It's like, it's not like it's gonna be a super uncomfortable wear. But the cool thing with a vertical sling is it can be worn in so many different ways, whether you're wearing it on the front, on the side, or on the back. But I do ultimately think sort of this crossbody is gonna be how you're wearing it the most. I don't know though, I mean, it kinda goes this way too. Like, the range of motion from here to here is not that intense. So you kind of like move it around, especially if you're like me and you're a bit on the fidgety side. One fabric that Tomtoc did not skimp on is their nylon webbing. This is very silky, Same fabric that's used on a really nice seatbelt. And we're at 1.25 inches width, which I think is perfect for a sling this size. You've got one piece of hardware right here, and that's really interesting actually. There's only one piece of hardware, which I love. Reason being, it kind of goes against what's happening in the carry world where there's typically like another buckle, maybe like right here. And that would be either magnetic or like an old school buckle, which allows you to unclip the sling here. But then it kind of opens you also up to theft and a little more discomfort as you got like this bulky thing right there. But then on the flip side, to take the sling off, you gotta do the full, over the head movement. So what do you think? Was it a good move on Tomtoc's part to remove that extra buckle? Or do you prefer to have that buckle there? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But the good news though is the shoulder strap is still completely removable with this hardware from, who you from? I'm gonna guess Duraflex. Can't tell, it's probably hidden under the nylon webbing, but it feels like a Duraflex buckle. And you can see, you just go ahead and unclip there. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little annoying because with this clip, when you move that metal hook, you got that little hook there, hook within a hook. And it kind of gets stuck on there and it's just a little annoying to unclip, but you'll get it. I promise you'll get it. Practice makes perfect. And then boom, the shoulder strap is removed. Speaking of which, I know we'll get asked by someone in the comments. Let's test the full length of the shoulder strap. Oh, we're corner to corner on our table right here. And we're just at about 61 inches, I'd say. One last note on the outside is we do have a little handle at the top, which I think is great for not really carrying this thing around like waltzing through the streets. Singing in the rain, like that's not as much what it's for. I think though, when you do take the shoulder strap off and you're in tech pouch mode and this thing's buried at the bottom of your bag, just makes it a little bit easier to grab. All right, let's talk about the inside of the Tomtoc Aviator-T37 crossbody bag. Now here you can see we got a bunch of EDC stuff or potential travel stuff as the name of the bag suggests you might use it for. But keep in mind, it's just a little guy, he's just tiny. So over the head headphones ain't gonna fit. Big old water bottle, ain't gonna happen. This is a bag that helps to organize stuff like this. In the front pocket, we got a keychain, metal hardware, feels nice, good location, easy to grab. For me, it's a good spot for my headphones. Got a bit more volume in this pocket, but it's also a little bit tight as well. We don't have a lot of width going on right here, right? So getting into this pocket, especially when the bag is fully packed out, can be a little more annoying, but it still works, don't get me wrong. We're also gonna throw a MagSafe phone charger on there. Perfect. Top pocket, this is just a little guy. This just extends to about this part of the sling, and it's great for the things that you want the fastest access to that are, again, smaller. So for me, good spot for that emergency chapstick, but you also could throw your wallet potentially in there. And I kind of like my wallet in there a little bit more than the alternative. We'll talk about that in just a second. Main compartment. You can see we've got the front packed out, so it has compromised a bit of packing space in the main compartment. Now in this compartment, we have a zippered pocket at the top, a sort of dual mesh pocket here. On the flip side, we have a lining sleeve, another mesh sleeve, and a little pen pocket. And the whole thing is, it's a lot of organization for such small space. And these gussets right here on either side are limiting your ability to really get in there, but also you kind of need that on a vertical sling, because if you don't, you risk opening it and all your stuff really falling out. Like the gussets are required. Maybe they could have given us like a slight amount more of space just to open that wide mouth a little bit wider. We should be able to make it work. We're gonna throw some meds in the back pocket, a little ibuprofen with my chapstick. This pocket, you got some elasticity so you can fit bulkier items right here. I got extra headphones. I got 3 pairs of headphones in me because you can never have too many headphones these days. Other side, I'll throw my wired headphones. See a recurring theme here, guys? Now for this sleeve, I do think it's an ideal slot for your phone. I got an iPhone 13, and you can see that mine is fitting in there with plenty of room to spare. And final note, you got the little pen sleeve right here. Now, if we take these bulkier-ish headphones out, you can just kind of see again what we're dealing with the space. Remember, this guy's 1.3 liters. It's not huge. And the more stuff you pack in here, the less likely you'll be able to close it, but we can, in fact, get this closed pretty easily. Like I said, I have a lot of EDC stuff in there, but if you're traveling, this would make a great travel companion. All that stuff that you want quick access to, passport, boarding pass, snacks, all that's in here. One pocket I don't love though is this back pocket. It's where it's just like a sleeve. Reason being that back pockets like this, I just don't know what to put in there because I'm always afraid something's gonna fall out or that, I don't know. It doesn't feel the most secure to me. What about you? Do you agree? Do you wish there was a zipper at this pocket right here. Maybe just a little magnet for a little bit of extra peace of mind. Let me know your thoughts on the back pocket slot in the comments below. And just final closing thoughts and wearing this again. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of vertical sling reviews recently. Like for instance, we recently just shot the Aer Street Sling review. And those two are kind of like arch rivals of each other, complete opposites. Tomtoc is simple, unassuming, light, and malleable in its design versus Aer, higher quality, but more like robust construction, heavier, bulkier hardware, and some design choices that might limit accessibility. For me, I definitely prefer this style. Like if I'm rocking a vertical crossbody, this one might be my favorite, minus some access issues, like I said, in this front pocket and the lack of security here in the back. But more or less, I love its overall malleability. And real fast, if you're digging this video, I gotta let you know that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic reviews here on YouTube, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, I take this whole gear deep dive into a deeper dive. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry, I'm talking about newest releases, limited edition drops, plus access to our discount codes and giveaways, you're gonna want to sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter, which you can do by finding this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. All right, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of a Tomtoc Aviator-T37 crossbody travel bag. Pro number one, I love how light and malleable it is. Pro number two for me is the lack of any hardware on the shoulder strap. That's the team I'm on. Much simpler, much more secure, and much more comfortable. And pro number three, if you do prefer organization, I think this might be the most organizational friendly vertical sling that I've reviewed yet. But on the flip side, some of the cons. Con number one is I do think for some people like myself, it might be a little bit of pocket overkill, especially at the size. Con number two for many of us out there, we wish for some sort of zipper and or magnet on this back pocket. Con number three, I could have dealt with maybe just a little bit more opening, just a few more MMs with the gusset in this main compartment. But if you're still watching this, there's a good chance that the pros have overweighed the cons for you. And if that's the case and you're thinking about making a purchase or you just want to find out more information, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description. That link just makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what they'll be. But if you're not quite sold, let's talk about some alternative recommendations that might better suit your needs. First up, if you're new to the channel, I highly suggest watching the Nomads Nation leaderboard video. This is where the whole Nomads Nation squad hangs out and talks about our favorite bags in our favorite distinct bag categories, slings included. This is a great starting point to kind of see what the best options are on the market and to meet the whole Nomads Nation team. But if we're pretty close with the T37, let's talk about some alternative suggestions that are just right there, but just a little bit different. Alternative number one, as mentioned earlier, is gonna be the Aer Street Sling. This is a great option for you if you're digging vertical slings, but you want a sling that's got a bit more, panache to it. Aer's always bringing the style game, a subtle style, but this is actually one of their more loud and proud designs. It's got a really gnarly front lid, secure with a fidlock. It's got the best materials, and it's definitely worth checking out. And alternative suggestion number two is gonna be the Bellroy City Pouch. Great pick for you if you want something similar to the T37 in terms of its casualness, but you really want more color options. And you also don't mind paying a little bit more for a more elegant and sophisticated design and materials and fabrics. Honestly, I love all three slings. They each have their own set of pros and cons, but to learn more about the alternatives, you can just go ahead and watch these videos right here. I'm gonna let these videos hang for a second while you decide which one you're most interested in. In the meantime, if you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.